Welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about something a little bit heavier, and basically how YouTube nearly ended my life. There's going to be talking about depression, suicidal thoughts, things like that. It is some of the content I want to introduce to the channel, talking about mental health, talking about the reality of being a content creator and how it affected me and my life. So yeah, if you don't want to watch this, that's totally fine. I understand. If you feel like you can watch it, please watch it all the way through, because it does have a good positive end. But there is going to be a lot of negative things to talk about. So yeah, all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, sub, hit the Twitter link down below, follow me on Twitter. Right, I don't even know where to start with this, but I guess the best place to start is the success of a content creator of YouTube. So back in September of a certain year, when The Taken King come out, my channel blew the hell up, like beyond what I ever expected it to be. I think in that September I earned $10,000. The subsequent months after that, subsequent months after that was like 8,000, 6,000. So you can imagine how elated I was for that success. You know, my subs were growing exponentially, my views were ridiculous. You know, getting a video with 1 million views on it was just mind-blowing. And I was in a position where I thought, oh my God, this is actually working. And at the time I was in a relationship, a long-distance relationship with a girl from America. And that was massive for me, like, to find the person who I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. And at the time, also having an extremely successful job as well. Now, most of my money and time and energy was going on YouTube and traveling to America. So to put it in perspective, I was trying to integrate myself into an American lifestyle with her children, with her extended family. I wanted to be someone that could fit into that family and be worthy of being in that family. So I was putting a lot of time and effort and energy into making that work, as well as some other stuff which I won't mention, because it's not fair on, you know, mine and her's relationship at the time. So I was putting so much into that, but I was also doing 2 to 3 videos a day on Destiny. So I was waking up at 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe even earlier than that. I wasn't eating all day until dinner time at like 6 p.m. And I was just working throughout the day, making 2 or 3 videos. And then with the relationship and her being in America, the time zone was different. So I was staying up to like 5 a.m. in the morning to try and cultivate that relationship. Now, when things were successful and I was earning lots of money, that was good for me. It was a positive mental health. But YouTube has a funny way of kind of kicking you in the nuts when you are at a position of success, because YouTube and content creating in general, but mostly YouTube, is the most inconsistent thing you can have in this world. So picture this, you know, I'm in a position where I'm trying to move to America, I'm trying to get married, I'm trying to take on her kids, and I'm earning enough money to try and do that. And then YouTube takes that away from you because it's inconsistent. So towards the end of that year, I was earning a hell of a lot of money. But after Christmas passes, then adverts get taken away because, you know, businesses don't need to advertise because no one's got any money after Christmas, which means ads don't get placed on YouTube, or if they do, they're not worth as much money to the creator. So you could easily go from 10,000 in December to 1,000 in January. Now, when you're trying to make plans to the extent that I was making, that's a big difference, a huge difference in terms of financing and making moves possible. So I had all this stress on my shoulders and anxiety tied to YouTube. And, you know, I was also undiagnosed autistic at the time, which means that, you know, anxiety and stress for a lot of people with autism feel that on a much higher scale than neurotypical people. And we have to build coping mechanisms to deal with day-to-day stress that other people don't really understand about autism. And because I was undiagnosed, I didn't have those coping mechanisms. So my mental health and everything was like on the edge for like 2 or 3 years, like constantly all the time. And I was suffering and struggling. But negative mental health kind of tricks your brain, because my logical part of my brain, my man up, kind of get on with it type of brain, was telling me that nothing was changing, that I was fine. You know, I didn't need any help. I didn't need any support. I just get through it. get to America and then we sort everything out there when I'm in America. But mental health and negative mental health was changing who I was as a person, because after a year of being with her and in that relationship and in that situation, I'd become a completely different person, a negative, horrible, just broken person, because I just had nothing left in me, because I was running on 3 hours of sleep a night most nights. I was suffering from major burnout in content creating. My finances weren't that great. Subs were starting to disappear off my channel. I was starting to lose subscribers. Views on a daily basis were way, way lower. So, when you're desperate to get to your future, and then all this external stuff that you have no control over, or at least you think you have no control over, started to go away, I fell into the massive pit of depression that I'm still trying to get out of this till this day. And that led me to pretty much every day of my life for a year and a half wanting to die. And to be honest, I don't know how I'm still here. I don't know what stopped me. I really don't. There must be a plan or something, and I'm not one for gods or fate, but something has kept me on this planet. And to be honest, if I hadn't stayed on this planet, I wouldn't have found out I was autistic, and I wouldn't be in the place that I'm at now, which is healthy, positive, for probably the first time in my life. And I have my slip-ups. I fall back into that negative mindset because negative mental health has been the majority of my life, and I just didn't realize how bad it was impacting me until about a year ago, when I started to get all the support and help around autism and starting to understand truly what was going on in my head and researching and understanding autism better. And I started to realize that even prior to that relationship, even prior to YouTube, I have had negative mental health probably my entire life. And I'm now in a place where I'm actually free of that on most days, and it's weird. It's very weird to not feel stress and anxiety in certain aspects. Like, obviously my mom's still sick with cancer, so that has stress and anxiety tied to it, but the majority of my life I'm just free of that burden. And YouTube was that burden, because it got to a point where views had plateaued, subscribers were still losing, and I just wasn't enjoying what I was doing every day. But I felt like I had to do it because I had to provide for my future family, that I had to keep pushing forward and make things happen. And I wasn't taking a break or taking a step back to think about my mental health and who I was becoming. And I just became a horrible person, a broken person that I don't recognize anymore, because when I look back on that, I just think, Jesus Christ, what was wrong with me? And, I had so many people telling me to get help, get support, including my ex-fiance, but I just didn't listen to her. And the negative mental health and the impact it had on me tore my relationship apart. And then when the relationship was torn apart and YouTube was going downhill, and I was getting nasty, horrible comments from commenters every single day, I just fell to pieces. And I just became, mostly towards my ex-fiance, I just became emotionally and mentally abusive, because I was just done with this world. But for a good 2 years, towards the end of my YouTube career, the first time round, I was just wanting to die every single day. I was so far gone that I just lost any hope of living till the next day. I would go to sleep hoping I wouldn't wake up, and I would be sad when I did wake up. And having that mentality for 2 years straight, every single day, with so much pressure and anxiety and stress on your shoulders, to be a quote unquote man, it was just destructive for me inside my head and inside my heart, inside my soul. And I'm ashamed to say that it did get the better of me, and that consequently destroyed my life. Because you can't see mental health, really, not really, but it does have crazy impacts on anything you want to do in your life. And I should have got the help when I needed it. And if you're in a place with negative mental health, if you feel like you want to die, please go to your GPs, go to your doctors, speak to your parents, speak to someone you trust, a teacher, a policeman, anybody. Just talk to someone and they will get you the help that you need. And believe me, it sounds, I need help, I'm weak. No, it's really not. You know, if you're still here, then you are still a strong, capable person. You just need someone to help you get to that place, just like I am now. I am at that place now. I am living proof that you can get through this. I want to briefly touch on comments from people. Well, individual people never bullied me off YouTube, as a lot of people think that it happened. But when you have negative mental health and you're already feeling the anxiety and stress from everything, you then start to doubt your abilities. You know, you start to doubt yourself. Am I worthy of this? Do I deserve this relationship? Am I really successful? Is this all going to go away? What will I do when it goes away? I can't work. I have no qualifications. And all these things start to swell around in your head, and you get very, very insecure about your abilities, who you are as a person, and you kind of lose your identity in this negative swelling of just a black hole of mental health challenges. And once you're in that position and you're still trying to force your way through and you're doing YouTube content and all that kind of stuff, and then you get comments every day like, oh, just quit YouTube, your views are crap, you what happened to you, you dropped off, I hope your mom dies of cancer, and just ludicrous comments like that. While they're ridiculous and silly and just dramatic on the spot, when you're in that place of your head, they sit in there and they stay in there. I still got certain people and comments that I got 4 or 5 years ago that I can recall off the top of my head because it stayed in there. And what it does is those comments that are constantly berating you and telling you you're not worthy and telling you you're terrible, telling you that you can't do this, telling you that you're not going to be successful, telling you that you should quit, telling you that you should kill yourself, telling you that your mom should die of cancer, then your brain tricks you into believing that's true. So that's what you think every day. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve this person in my life. I don't deserve this quote unquote success. I'm not going to get any further than this. I'm going to fall off. I'm going to disappear. No one's going to care about me when I go. Nobody cares about me now. And that just continually eats away at you and eats away at you until you just don't want to be alive anymore. And those comments are a very small percentage of all the other negative mental health things, but they are very important to mention in the same vein. And yeah, I spent a very long time every day just wanting to end my life. Planned it many times, many times, even when I was still in my relationship. And that's not something I've ever said to anyone apart from people that have supported me recently. And, for some reason, like I said, I'm still here. And it could have been a very different ending to my YouTube career if I had decided to take my life. But luckily, I'm back on YouTube, enjoying it in a very different way. Yeah, I might get 100 views on a video. I might get 300 views on a Borderlands 3 video. But being able to be creative and do what I once loved and enjoy gaming again and enjoy making videos on games and not being beholden to making 3 videos a day. I know I did that the other day with Destiny, but I'm not beholden to do it. I can upload 1 video today. I could not upload for another week. You see, I don't have to do it, but I still have that option. I still have that creative process, and it means so much to me because I'm in such a better place with my mental health now. I've changed so much over the past year that when I do this now, there's this kind of joy in me. Because before, when I put up a video and it would get 200 views in the first hour, I would be crying to myself, literal tears, crying out of agony, out of frustration. Now I see 200 views after a day and a half, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. But it's just such a joy to do this again and be happy and be in a positive mental health place and just be as happy as I can be as well as I can be right now in my situation. It's great. It really is. And like I said, if anyone's struggling with any of this stuff, if this sounds familiar to you, get the right help that you need. My Twitter DMs are always open. So if you have any specific questions or problems, you can come and message me. I'm not a trained professional. I will give you as much advice as possible, but mostly it will be go to your doctor, go to your GP, speak to someone you trust and get the help that you need. But I'm over there if you ever want to chat. And yeah, that's kind of just what I wanted to talk about, the reality of YouTube for some people. And, you know, we've seen it recently with certain content creators who have taken their own life. Like this impacts everybody. It happens to everybody. You know, no one's free of it. It's a real thing that happens to a lot of people. You know, I'm not special in that way. I just feel like because I have done so much in the past couple of years, because I have moved forward so much, because I have learned so much, I'm in a position now where I can openly talk about it and maybe help a few people. But yeah, there'll be gameplay stuff again, probably tomorrow. You know, keep an eye out for it. I hope this helps. Leave some comments. Come talk to me. All that good stuff. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow, and you guys have been awesome.